let's get to this Albie Shore story. Because, with everything going on, Albie Shore recently did an interview with Rosanna Scotto and them over there at Fox 5 New York. I thought it was like Friday or something, but I think they do a weekend show. What's up with all these, some of these people doing all these weekend shows? Because I know The View does one on the weekends. I've never really watched The View one because I'm like, I gotta go on a website and watch it. Like, if it's not on Hulu or any other streaming services, I'm not trying to link. Who watches shit on a computer? So, unless that's your TV. But you know what I'm saying. But anyway, who cares about The View? I just all of a sudden got caught up in this View thing for a moment. But so Albie Shore, as y'all know, he has been revealing a little, things about Diddy in the past. I would say, has it been over the years? I feel like it's been since this whole trial situation happened, he's been very vocal. Well, not trial, since Diddy got locked up last year. There's been a lot of talk about, Albie Shore's been coming out saying little things here and there. And so, he also even said that he believes that Diddy tried to have him unalived. Hence why he was in the hospital and damn near, and he was in a coma. I saw that picture and I gagged because I totally forgot what he looked like. He was in the hospital. And he said he will use his last breath to take that man down. So now in a new interview with Fox 5 New York over the weekend, Albie Shore revealed that he's been subpoenaed to testify against the diddler in his federal S-trafficking trial and that he was more than willing to talk on the stand. He also reiterated his thoughts that on the death of his ex-wife and the mother of Diddy's 4 children, Kim Porter, and his son that he had with her, Quincy, maintaining that she was in good health and he didn't believe she passed away from pneumonia, as her records show. So I do have that clip, courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, so shout out to them. And we'll come back after we finish playing and we'll talk. Please hold.
There's no hustle, there's no marketing, I'm living my truth. And it's time.
So you were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah. Right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, have the doctors medically, what happened to you?
Yeah,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah. So, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes.
I
want to get into that.
What that process is. But so it's been quite a journey. And as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking? Really? What's wrong with you? No way. But not realizing that they were also working for the situation.
Because you were hinting, saying,
posting. Yeah. I get calls, take it down or else, so on and so forth.
But this is about Diddy, so let's be clear for everybody that doesn't know.
Diddy, who's about to, his trial's about to start. Yeah, yes. They're selecting a jury.
But you were on this train years ago.
Yes, many, many years ago. I posted some information that was, basically trying to save my life. And thank goodness to my ex, the wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth. And I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop, So it was a really festive opportunity just for all of us to be together because it's nothing like the circus that's out here. So it was a lot of the stuff, came to surprise, but a lot of the stuff will be revealed and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to finally tell my story. Every network came to me, participate in so and so, but I said, listen, I have no interest in speaking about another man.
But you are in the book.
Yeah, right. But this, I will speak about where our paths cross and what's most relevant and something I've been trying to say for many, many years. And unfortunately, Roseanne, even with Sean being incarcerated, that's not a celebration. There's no celebration in it. First and foremost, there's way too much collateral damage and in many, many ways. Many people's lives are affected. And in fact, a genre of music that I grew up in is ruined right now.
You're blaming Diddy for that?
I'm blaming this entire industry and the way it's gone. And, there's no one person that's in charge, but this level and this magnitude of a story of detriment, of diabolical, just heinous, whatever's really going on. It's unfortunate.
Is Diddy suing you or threatening to sue you?
No.
No?
I have the truth.
But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I am. And again, there's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the only
yes.
reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Of course he does.
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. There's no hustle. There's no marketing. I'm living my truth, and it's time.
So you were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, and all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah.
Wow.
60.
Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, what happened to you?
Yeah,
Because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yes.
What that,
I want to get into that.
What that process is. But, so it's been quite a journey. And as I said, even as it relates to writing the book, I went through almost, more than a decade of being scrutinized and clowned by law enforcement, them telling me, you need some help. Sex trafficking? Really? What's wrong?
Okay. So, that was a lot, but I actually believe every word that he's been saying, because over the years a lot of people have been saying so many things about him. There are people who are not here to tell live to tell the tale. Between people think that Andre Harrell and a bunch of them who was a part of the whole Diddy situation knew some things, and they died under mysterious circumstances, and then we got Kim Porter, who was according to him, in great spirits and good health. And you can pay people off to turn things in the direction that you want to turn things in, especially when it comes to law enforcement. I guess law enforcement, cops, whatever, ain't making really a good damn salary. But of course, if Diddy came in your direction and asked you to kind of look the other way, and he was going to give you a little something, just like I'm sure he gave whoever had that footage of him kicking and dragging Cassie at the hotel room, allegedly $50,000, to give him the footage and look the other way. And then years later, his dumb ass decides, I'm going to hold the footage in my safe or whatever the case is. And then the Fed sees, all this stuff and raid his homes or whatever. And then they find the footage, and then they see what's on there, and then it gets leaked to the press and all this other stuff. I'm not surprised by any of this stuff that's coming out. So there was some people in the comments over there at the Neighborhood Talk and said the following. Now, one person said this trial needs to be on Netflix and Prime. Can you imagine? I think a lot of people actually wanted this trial to be televised, but I'm like, I don't know, because I don't know if I could sit behind in front of the TV and just be watching all that all day. Like I said, I'd be bored. Another person, I mean, from the looks of it, anyone who came in contact with Diddy was either dead, was sick, or broke. Another person say he has always been an advocate for Kim. He's going to fight till the end. Another person says, so let me get this right. Puff successfully knocked everyone else off because he's wealthy and powerful. So did the money and power run low? I'll be sure why he survived. He survived. Child, I swear people are so damn slow. So for those of you who, like I said, are short but slow, there's a picture of Albie Shore in the hospital where he was put in the coma because of the liver failure or other stuff. The reason why he's alive is because he fought to stay alive, you dumbass. Like, I don't understand what the hell is wrong with people where it's like, y'all ask the dumbest of questions and don't actually think before y'all hit send on stuff. So let me see if somebody responded to they dumb behind. Oh, somebody said, God bless you, brother. And they said, no, brother, do research. He been saying this for years. Another person said, Al need mental help. Okay, so they said it's no way he could do all that. It just also goes to show that when y'all come from a place of being broke or not understanding how people with money and power, how far their power reaches, as long as you have the money to get you the access to things, stop thinking like, y'all living paycheck to paycheck and actually put yourselves in the mindset of someone who is, extremely successful, even though he's not a billionaire now. Back then, when he was able to do the things that he was doing pre-prison, Diddy is a billionaire. Diddy's been in this business for 30 years. I think probably more than that, but we'll stick with 30 years. He's been doing this for 3 decades. So when you are in the mix of, he was going beyond just hood booger shit. He was hobnobbing with white folks as well. So when you get access to things that many of you all dream of, I think it's hard for people to compute in that way where they think like, oh, there's no way he could have did all that. Really? Because it is very possible that someone like Diddy could do the things that he was able to do. And when you've been doing this as long as I have, I don't put nothing past nobody when it comes to how far their power and their influence reaches. When you have, like I said, when you have the money, when you have the resources, when you have all those things, you can make anything happen at your disposal. Now, when you no longer have that power, is why all of a sudden everybody's talking. That's usually how it goes. People don't talk when you're at the height of your shit. Because when you do talk at the height, they can make you disappear. They can ruin your career. They can do all kinds of things. So Google is your friend, and I keep saying this to people. Stop just putting stuff on. There's no way you could have did all that. I'm not buying it. Really? Because there's way more people who have done way worse things. But it's like, just say that. You can't say there's no way that they couldn't have done it. Just say you don't want to believe it. I wish we would just try to rephrase things when it's basically, this is your thought process. Don't sit up here and try to generalize and try to make it seem like, oh, well, I can't believe that he would do something like that. It is very possible. Like I said, when you got money and power and all this other stuff, look at what's happening with the current administration and our president and all these other oligarchs that's running things now, especially when they funnel a lot of money in your campaign. When you have that kind of money, power, influence, you could do whatever the hell you want and nobody says anything to you. You can file your little court papers. You could do the whole, whatever. But for the most part, excuse me, when you, like I said, when you have the money, power, influence, you can do whatever you want. I'm tired of repeating that part, but sometimes you got to keep repeating things so that way it can be embedded in your brain. Because, apparently, common sense isn't so common. So, and then they said the man left his child for Diddy to raise, wasn't with Kim when she died. Please go rest and all. So people are not believing everything. And it's like, that's, your prerogative if you don't want to believe it. But I also feel like you don't understand Al B. Shore's situation with his son and Kim Porter. So I don't think anybody could speak on why Diddy was raising his son, whereas Quincy still got his father's last name. It still say Quincy Brown. Don't say no damn Quincy Combs. So at the end of the day, regardless of how his situation is, and Quincy has the relationship they have with his father, when they see each other, they dap each other up, they taking pictures, whatever the case is. I don't know the status of their relationship, but as long as whatever it is they have, that's between them. I guess I'll just say that. But we can't sit up in here and question their level of a relationship because we don't know unless they come out and say it. But it seemed like for now, Al does have a good rapport with his son, even though we do see Quincy going in solidarity with the family up to the courthouse. And I guess at the end of the day, you got to put on a united front. So I don't know. I know that's going to be weird when, he's sitting in the back of the court And then Al get up on that damn stage. I mean, get up on the stage. I mean, it is going to be theatrical when all this stuff is going down, right? So when he gets up there and he has to put his hand on that Bible and he has to go under oath and testify against the diddler. And if you're going to be in that room and you grown and you want to hear all that stuff, look, you're going to have to be ready to hear what is going on between, you know, your father and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, maybe I should pull this picture up so you see Al with his son, because you can't deny that they related. He's so cute. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story about Al said that, yeah, he got a book coming out? I know some people looking at it as like, oh, well, now you talking about that you don't want to reap the benefits and all this other stuff, but here you are about to go and put a book out. But I guess, you know what, at the end of the day, it's his right to tell his story. And if he's doing this to clear and put out theories that he believes that Kim didn't die of pneumonia, that something else happened because of Diddy's history of abusing his exes and all the other stuff, then look, he has a right to tell his side of the story, especially if he really believes that because there were certain things going on and he was sounding the alarm that Diddy tried to take his life. And if you're going to explain that in the book, like, you really need to come with the evidence if you're going to come with something that strong. And he'll probably mention that. I'm wondering if he'll mention that in the courtroom. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.